Yes.
What did you say, Malcolm?
Well, I said the same thing that everybody says, that his assassination was the result of the climate of hate. But only I said the chickens came home to roost, and which means the same thing. Climate of hate means that this is the result of something. And when I said chickens coming home to roost, I said the same thing.
But you did not say that you were glad the president was killed.
No, that's what the press said. What would I look like saying that I'm glad the president was killed? I will never say that progress is being made. Knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches. There's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made. And they haven't even begun to pull a knife out, much less try and heal the wound. They won't even admit the knife is there.
You haven't?
Yeah, neighborhood that pussy. Giving a shout out right now to SPR, Spot Low, y'all already know what it is. Schwarzenegger. It's neighborhood net puzzle. Big shout out to SPR, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
Okay. If you had to decide which is a bigger problem facing black America, racism or a lack of fathers raising black kids, which is a bigger problem?
I would say what impact? Repeat the question.
If you had to decide in a binary choice, which is a bigger problem facing black America, racism or a lack of fathers raising black youth?
I think it's a combination of both, but for sure we'll say black because blackness affects blacks more than you ever affect me in my life.
I'm sorry, so you said you would say racism or the black fathers?
Fathers.
I agree. So now we have agreement. Do you agree that the last 5 years we've talked more about racism and way less about dads staying around with the women they impregnate? Would you agree that's probably a problem?
I agree that's a problem amongst all races. When you say we, who is we?
Well, as a society, but it's especially a problem in black America. If you had to guess, I know this is like Trivial Pursuit, but approximate, what percentage of black youth have a stable father around?
I wouldn't know those numbers, sir.
It's about 30%. So that means that 2 out of 3 black kids do not have a dad around.
I will have to fact check that for myself.
That's fine. You can look it up.
Your videos,
you guys can look it up on Grok or ChatGPT or Perplexity or the AI of your choice, right? And so here's our perspective as conservatives, because this is a colorblind truth. See, as conservatives, we apply things that are true to all human beings regardless of their skin color. That if you don't have a dad around, you're more likely to commit crimes, go to jail, more likely to basically be on the outer fringes of society. When 2 out of 3 black youth don't have dads around, that's a big, big problem. And it creates a cycle of violence and poverty. That's not racism, that's culture.
And it begins again. Brenda is 19, unmarried, and she has just had a baby. She's learning to care for him on her own. She's trying to get a job to support him, and she lives with her aunt, who has 5 children of her own. Money was the reason she decided not to marry Kenneth, the father of her child.
I would have married him, while I was carrying the baby, but he had no job and couldn't support us, and no sense in getting married. Well, no sense in getting married, so I said, wait. I plan on marrying him next year, and no sooner than next year. Have to give him time to work first. What's the sense of marrying somebody if he can't support you? That's his job to support you and the baby, not my job to support him and the baby. So after he start working, work more than he been working, then I'll marry him. And I think he's able to take care of
people. Just get over it. Like, slavery was a long time ago, right? Why can't they just move on? Well, this is sort of precious coming from people who set off fireworks every July 4th. Because that's some old too, right? Like Independence Day, that didn't happen last week, right? We didn't break away from the British last Thursday. That's some old but we're still celebrating that. So when it's stuff that makes us feel good, we love it. When it's stuff that makes us feel better than others, superior, like we're the greatest people in the greatest country ever struck off in the forehead of God Almighty, oh, we'll remember that forever. We just don't like the stuff that brings us up a little short, makes us look a little less than superior, maybe not quite as good as we'd like to believe. if you don't understand why the past affects the present, particularly around issues like enslavement, putting aside the inheritance of wealth and the lack thereof, part of which is certainly an explanation for why currently the median white wealth is 15 times the median African American wealth and 11 to 12 times the median Latino wealth. Certainly that has something to do with history, who had access to resources and who didn't. But putting aside that, let's just understand something. The only reason Donald Trump is president right now is because of a little thing called the Electoral College, which was put in place by folks. See, we got this revisionist history that we've been spinning for the last couple of months about the Electoral College. Oh, you know, it was put in there to prevent tyranny. For real, you think? Do you really think that? Because I don't think that. Right? That might have been one of the things that folks were concerned about, but it was also put in because folks like the folks in Virginia, in the bigger slaveholding states, right, didn't want direct democracy or anything even remotely like it because it would have hurt them, because so much of their population was not enfranchised, right? So much of their population in some areas, 40% or over half of the people in some of those slaveholding states were what? Disenfranchised, counted as 3/5 of a human being, not considered people. And if you had anything remotely resembling direct democracy, those states would have been harmed by that. So in fact, the Electoral College was in part a compromise with slaveholding states, states who were dependent upon enslavement as a mechanism of economic development so as to improve their political position vis-a-vis non-slaveholding states. So if you don't understand how slavery, because this is the point, right? Even if you don't think racism was key to Donald Trump's own campaign, which, you know, suggests to me that you might have been asleep for the last several months, even if you believe that, understand that racism in the 1700s, white supremacy embedded in the structure of the country at the founding of the country, is most definitely implicated in his election, because without the obeisance to the Electoral College, without that compromise, we know he would not be president right now. So that is why we have to think about the past, and that is why the past affects the present. See,
Counting or not counting gang violence? Oh my God. Go, run.
The last thing Charlie Kirk talked about before he was shot dead was gun violence. Kirk was hosting his Prove Me Wrong table on a tour in Utah when an audience member asked him this question: do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the past 10 years? Kirk's answer was too many. The same audience member then said the answer was 5 and asked Kirk if he knew how many mass shooters in total America had seen in the last 10 years. Kirk's response was a question, and it was the last thing he ever said.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Oh my God. Go, run.
Neighborhood Net Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.